Hey guys, today we're in the book of Second Chronicles chapter 2. Solomon has been king. Now he wants to build the temple. He has sacrificed for them. He is building Israel and Jerusalem. And now we see in chapter 2 that Solomon purposed to build a temple. So now it's time to do what his dad has set him up to do. So he's going to build a temple, but also notice he's going to build a royal palace for himself. And so it's going to take a lot of people. 153,600 is actually how many people it's going to take. You see there's 70,000 men to bear the burdens, 80,000 men to quarry, and 3,600 men to kind of be the foreman of the project. But he needs a great leader. Who's this leader going to be? Well, he goes through his dad's Rolodex and he says, oh yeah, I remember this guy. And he calls upon the king of Tyre, Hiram. And he says, hey, you and my dad had a great relationship. I need some help. I need materials, but more importantly, I need a general contractor. I need somebody to oversee all things. Who do you got that you can send to me? And it goes through this long list of everything that he needs. But we can see a couple things I want to point out. In verse 5, it says, the house that I am to build will be great, for our God is greater than all gods. But who is able to build him a house, since heaven cannot contain him? Though Solomon will slip away into sin, Solomon's view of God is very, very high. It's very, very high. He says, hey, God is the greatest of all gods. Yahweh cannot even be contained in heaven. How in the world can I build him a place on this earth, right? Heaven can't, what he made cannot contain him. What can I make that contain him? So he says, I need some help. And so he writes this to Hiram, and Hiram, he says, I need a guy. And basically, Hiram writes him a letter back in starting in verse 11. And it says he sends him a letter, and Hiram said, blessed be the Lord God of Israel. Now, we don't know if Hiram was saved or not saved, but we do know that Hiram respected Yahweh. We know that for sure. But Hiram basically says, I've got a guy, and I'm going to send you my best guy. And his name is Huram. And so he's going to send them this guy, Huram. It's interesting about him. We see that his mother is from the tribe of Dan, which means his mother is Jewish, but his dad is from Tyre. So he's a Gentile. So this guy that's going to kind of be the GC, the general contractor of the temple, is both Jew and Gentile, right? And it's a little prophecy coming there, right? A little kind of nudge that God is doing there. I love it. And so he says, I'm going to send him. And then we end up with verse 17. It says, Solomon counted all the resident aliens who were in the land. And that's how we get that 153,600. But what's most interesting about this is, who were they that were going to do the work? It was resident aliens. The nations will build the temple. The nations. The temple will be built mostly by Gentiles. That are all across the world, that have now been here, that are either slaves or they've come in, or kind of under things moving and people going, and Israel conquering this nation and that nation. And so it's just interesting that though they're building a house of prayer for the nations is the one who builds the house of prayer, which is just interesting. And so it's just a kind of an interesting thing I think a lot of people just kind of read over. but it is important and will become very important as we continue to read. So I hope that makes a little bit more sense. They're starting to build the temple now that Solomon's the king, and we will see you tomorrow in chapter 3. God bless.